Alright, so welcome to this video. I'm Isaac Okoro and this is Isaac Okoro Crypto. And on this crypto channel, we do a lot of educating. We talk about what we see in the crypto space. We talk about what we believe is the future, the possibilities that abound in the sector, and all together we just want to build. So in this video, we're going to be talking about my company, Taiga Labs. I've mentioned it here and there in my videos, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Taiga Labs. All right, so let me unpack all of this as much as I can. So I'm Isaac Okoro, as you know, and by the grace of God, I'm the founder of Taiga Labs. Now, Taiga Labs is an engineering company. It's based in Nigeria. It's a subsidiary of a bigger organization that we founded called Taiga Limited. Taiga Limited is a tech-focused company that is into building technology into different aspects of African businesses to innovate and take them to the next level. And then in the future, of course, we'll diversify into industries that will help us to industrialize our nation and indeed Africa, because that's the next. Africa provides potentially the largest trade corridor on earth. You know, when all the African countries trade within themselves, that will be the largest trade corridor that exists. So there is huge potentials within the continent and then across the globe. So Taiga Labs, like I said, is a sub of this organization. Now, Taiga Labs is focused on the blockchain ecosystem, and there are three major things that we are really committed to doing. Number one, we are interested in setting up a gaming guild, basically. Secondly, we're very committed to building blockchain games, just like the name suggests. And then thirdly, we want to set up an NFT marketplace. So I'm going to talk about how all these things tie together and why we're taking a three-pronged approach. Because generally, if you observe, you'll find out that most people, for instance, you have like OpenSea, that's like primarily their major business. But I've seen that OpenSea, which is an NFT marketplace, a big one of that, is invested into some games, even though they've not put out a game. Imagine if they did, by the way. Then you have some gaming guilds that are also investing in blockchain games and NFT marketplaces. So already it's obvious that you need to have a synergy between these three. These are all the moving parts that make all of this work. Maybe in the future we might even think of building our own blockchain, but that's like going a bit ahead of ourselves. Right now, we're looking at the best possible chains that we could use. Polygon, Solana. The Solana's had some issues, but we're looking into what the best would be. Polygon has come out tops, but we're also looking at Wax. So apart from trying to build our own blockchain in terms of the other parts, the guilds, the blockchain gaming, the blockchain games, and the NFT marketplace, we're really focused on that. So now let me unpack why all of this is important, and then the African connection and how that leads to a bigger ecosystem for the entire crypto market globally, which is the goal of Taiga Labs. So gaming guilds, number one. So of course we know that a gaming guild is sort of like an ecosystem where a platform brings gamers together who are interested in playing, especially play-to-earn games. And then, of course, it really came alive with Axie Infinity, where you get the NFTs that were required to get into the game for the guild members. They go play the game, and then there's a profit-sharing arrangement of some kind. So that's like the basic concept of the gaming guild. You have all these wonderful new blockchain play-to-earn games, but there's always a bit of bar to entry. You need to get NFTs in order for you to do well in the game and all of that. So a guild will provide you with those resources, those NFT resources, and then the agreement is that based on your performance, they will get a percentage of what you're earning from the game. So the reason why we're looking at the gaming guild is because I did my research. For instance, YGG is one of the biggest gaming guilds out there. Blew up from low-income countries like the Philippines, Vietnam, Venezuela. Now, the The reason this is attractive to those kind of countries is because when you play this play to earn games, you're going to make, say, $200, $300 in a month, realistically, right? If you do what you're doing properly. When you convert that to local currency, it's still more than what salary earners make from working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So imagine that you can still keep your day job, you can still do gigs, and then you can supplement with play to earn. And that's the whole concept that is driving our excitement into the whole guild ecosystem. So come to Africa, come to my country, for instance, Nigeria. You have over 60 million young people in a population of over 200 million people that are tech savvy. Most of them have crypto wallets, but 12 million people in Nigeria have engaged with crypto in one way or the other. So you have a market that's already ready, and there is low income, severe unemployment. So what is the solution? Introduce gaming guilds. Introduce this whole play to earn thing into the ecosystem. Number one, bring education to these gamers, these potential gamers, to understand the whole blockchain concept as a whole, at least at the basic level. Teach them a player investment kind of approach where you're going to play these NFT games, you're going to earn from it, but don't just farm games and take away all the juice, all the resources you can from it. Take out of it, put back in, so you can keep advancing in the game. So you can start at an average level, but you can keep growing. So whether you have games like Miranda's, Axie Infinity, which has gone through some changes, but of course newer games keep coming out. So we take advantage of all these games, we bring education to these gamers. In rural areas, urban areas, doesn't matter, because there are a lot of unemployed people. Now, I can tell you that if a Nigerian can earn $300 a month just playing games as a side thing, and can still do his day job, or might not even have a day job, if you convert that to local currency at current exchange rate, my goodness, you can have 100,000 people joining that guild in a month if you can get the word out. It's easy, because it's almost a no-brainer. And bringing 100, 200, 500,000 people into a game where they can become actively, because as they generate some revenue, remember we're teaching them to invest into the game, and they're adding to the ecosystem. It's going to drive up the value of that game globally, and then will attract more people from other parts of the world, and you can now see a whole robust economy. And we see that this can really be achieved. And that's why we're interested in setting up a gaming guild. That's just the basic concept. And Nigeria is not the only place. You can do this in Ghana, in Senegal, in Tanzania, in Uganda, in Kenya, in South Africa. I mean, I don't want to call ridiculous numbers, but with the right investment and with the right approach, we can build a gaming guild that can attract 10 million players in a very short period of time as the blockchain ecosystem continues to improve, which is also going to be an incentive for blockchain game developers to create more exciting games and with better tokenomics and that are more sustainable. Which leads us to the second aspect, blockchain games. The reason why we're looking into blockchain gaming is because even though we believe in the guilds, we also believe in the gaming ecosystem. Over 3 billion gamers, you've played games like I have, and you've earned all kinds of stuff in the game, but you never got to keep them. NFTs give us a new possibility. You can own what you earn, what you win, what you play and earn almost. Play, earn, own. So, for instance, Taiga Labs has a game that we're working on, design the concept, or in the early stages of building the game, and it's called City Outlaws. It's a racing game, and I'll do a separate video where I'll really unpack what City Outlaws is about. But the long and short is that it's a racing game, and of course an NFT play to earn game, and you can do a lot of exciting things in the game. Now, within the blockchain aspect of our company, Taiga Labs, we want to develop a good amount of games, sort of like what Gala Games is doing. The reason for that is that we want to have exciting games that the guys in the guilds can also participate in. So we don't want to just depend on other game developers because they might mess up the tokenomics, they might make changes that just affects the game. We want to also be in a position where we can create games to sustain the guild, while we also work with game developers to bring great games to our guild. So we're bringing exciting games, we're also creating games. And we're also creating these games for the entire gaming ecosystem, 3 billion players potentially. Of course, it's a huge market in Africa and around the world. So, like I said, one of our pioneer games is City Outlaws. Now, one of the major exciting things about City Outlaws, and like I said, we're going to break it down, we're going to talk about it in a separate video, is that in City Outlaws, we're really concerned about bridging the gap between different NFT projects and different NFT games. Right? So, when you play City Outlaws, for instance, and you win certain races or certain events or certain tasks in the game, you don't only get to collect NFTs that are native to the City Outlaw game, but you can also earn NFTs from other projects. So, for instance, you can earn NFTs from, say, Project Penguins or Kaiju Kings. So, what that does, it then is a very intelligent way of drawing those communities into our game. Because you see, the holders of some of these NFTs are looking for other forms of utility. And they also want to increase their holding, increase their value. So if I have a Kaiju King, that means I love Kaiju Kings. And now there's a game where if I play that game, I can earn even more Kaiju Kings. And I believe in the value of Kaiju Kings. Maybe I don't believe in the value of City Outlaws here, but I believe in the value of Kaiju Kings. So I'll jump in and play. We've drawn an audience from the Kaiju Kings community, right? The holders of Kaiju Kings and people that love the project, which right now I think we have over like hundreds of thousands of followers, for instance, and move some of that into the City Outlaws ecosystem. So doing this is one of the ways we're going to onboard a lot of players into the game and all of our games, because you can do this with Axie Infinity and just all the different projects. So also when we have events and achievements and levels and accesses within the City Outlaws game, that if you hold, say, an Axie, or if you hold, say, something from Ape, or any platform, depending on how you choose to integrate, you're going to gain access to some advantages. That makes sense for the holders of those NFTs. So imagine like you hold a Doge Pound, and that Doge Pound is going to give you certain accesses within the City Outlaw NFT game. All of a sudden, you're going to attract guys from the Doge Pound. Might not be everybody, but a sizable amount. Because now that NFT, the Doge Pound NFT, has just been given another level of utility. One of the integrations we really love, and I think that's one of the first ones you're going to see, is with what is called stakes. Stakes NFT is a very interesting concept, and we want to adopt it as part of that whole community, bringing these projects together. So it allows you to bet on sports events in a way that is more fun than hardcore. So within the City Outlaws NFT game, eventually you can bet on the races. Now the way we work is when you bet on the race and you're successful, we'll reward you with stake NFTs. So we'll integrate with them, and you get to hold stake NFTs. Now what we'll do over time is, so let's say you've been betting on races and you've been predicting them right, being correct, being doing well, and you've stacked up like a very solid reputation, and you're holding those stake NFTs, we can then airdrop you some of our Toast token, which is the native token for the City Outlaws game, or we can even airdrop you some NFTs from City Outlaws, which you could then use to play the game or something. So you can engage with the City Outlaws game without even necessarily holding NFTs initially. So these are some possibilities that will come down the road. So these are just ways of bringing different projects together. And this is one of the things we're really excited about, because we think that allows the communities to benefit from one another, and for us as a game, that allows it to grow really, really fast, right? So it's that network effect. And that's like a really unique difference. That's our differentiation. That's like what we're bringing into the whole NFT ecosystem and the play the end game. And we believe that that's going to help our community to become stronger, because every time you bring all these other players from these communities, they come in with their resources to boost the City Outlaws ecosystem. Right, so moving on to the NFT marketplace, the concept for us is a bit different as well. So with OpenSea, the major focus is on art, PFP projects, and all of that, which has blown up billions and billions of dollars in transactions. Fantastic. And if you look at whether it's Magic Eden or Nifty Gateway or Lux Rare, they're all sort of just doing around the same thing. So, but we want to move a little bit different. So we want to have more of a multi-purpose NFT marketplace where you can still do your NFTs in terms of art, PFP projects, and all of that. You're going to have, of course, a wide variety of NFT games that can be NFTs that can be bought and sold for game assets and all of that. And that's a huge market. But also we want to look at integration because we see the NFT technology as something that can be integrated into a lot of businesses, especially on the African continent and around the world. So we're looking at how we can integrate NFTs into everyday businesses like logistics, like restaurants, like barbering salons, like auto dealerships, and then our platform becomes that place where you're going to go to and buy those NFTs like on a secondary market kind of thing. So you can imagine the huge possibility that holds. And so we want to go to that place where we're able to enable restaurants, lounges, barbering salons, people who sell in marketplaces, especially with the African context, and in fact around the world, different types of businesses, logistics, all those type of businesses also see how they can adopt NFTs into what they do. So we want to start creating NFT use cases, and then that NFT marketplace is going to be like a secondary market where those NFTs can be traded amongst customers and all kinds of things. So global brands, localized brands, whatever it is. So we're looking at that's like a multi-purpose NFT marketplace, if you like, a very robust kind of setup. All right. So the idea here is within Taiga Labs, when you are part of this project in any way, you're going to be part of a very, it's sort of like an Amazon, having all these moving parts. You know, they have the products they sell, they still have the FDA and all that kind of stuff. So being part of us it's a win because we're able to take advantage of these different possibilities. All right, so that's just what I wanted to talk about as far as Taiga Labs is concerned. Like I said, I'll do a different video where I'm going to do a proper presentation on City Outlaws, which is like what we're currently on. But I'll leave a link in the description so you can check out the website. And we're looking at putting on an NFT drop before the month of June is over. We're still trying to talk to potential partners so we can really do something special and get going with the deal and also the NFT marketplace. So, but ultimately, I'm really excited about what Taiga Labs is doing. And the African upside, like I already said, is that we have millions, literally hundreds of millions of Africans that are ready to be onboarded through gaming, through the guilds, and even from the integrations of everyday businesses. They can be brought into the crypto space. And when we're going to be doing this onboarding of businesses into NFTs, integration and all of that, we want to do it in a way that the blockchain side is as hidden as possible. So people can, the ultimate goal is that if anybody can use an ATM card, for instance, and an ATM machine, you should be able to operate crypto related things. That's how simplified the user interface and all we want to do is going to be. We want to remove all that complicated stuff and just keep it in the background for the savvy people. But for the everyday person, it should be as simple as going to a store, bringing out your card, making a payment. And that's what we're looking at. And if we can achieve that, we have the blueprint. I tell you, we can bring in another 100 million people from the African continent, and that will push the global NFT and crypto market and blockchain evolution even further and strengthen everything for everybody that is already adopting this technology. So that's Taiga Labs in a summary. So watch out for that NFT drop anytime soon. We're putting out more information. Like I said, I'll link in the description so you can see all our pages and just keep in touch. Follow us on Twitter, follow me on Twitter as well. Like this video, subscribe so the channel can grow. And I'll keep coming back with more educative content, more content that is all about building in this space. We're committed to building in this tech space, in the blockchain space, and showing the African upside to the world. And we hope to partner with you. All right? catch you in the next video.